And welcome to the Smoke Break. We are here. And we're here. We're here.
I'm here.
Did you know that?
Did you know that?
Are
now
you guys
know. I'm Zane Thomas.
I'm
is
Zoe Schwartz.
And
I'm Jamal Coleman. I'm Taylor Barrett.
We just tried to do intro.
I like that. We didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, it was pre-planned.
On the fly.
Thing that we did talk about was logic versus emotion. For me, I feel like I live more in my emotional mind.
Mm-hmm.
Logic plays a part, but I don't feel like I always, do the math. And how would you say that you kind of interact with logic and emotion?
I'm probably the opposite. I try to be, I think we're all kind of emo creatures, and we kind of let emotions get the best of us, and that's kind of why I try to focus and lean a little. I try to compensate and be more logical, probably too much sometimes in certain situations.
That could happen.
I don't know. What about you, Zoe? How do you feel about it?
About you being too
about Jamal being emotional.
Well, I think you're right. I think you can overcompensate sometimes if you feel like your emotions have dictated decisions that you didn't love or whatever. But I think the key is to find a balance between the two. From what I've learned, the idea is to try to feel your feelings and be present with them, and curiosity is a good way to sit with them, and then that gives you space to think about how you want to respond with your logical mind as well. So how important are the feelings that I'm feeling? How real are the feelings that I'm feeling? Where are they coming from? And how do I want those feelings to dictate what I say or do after that?
Definitely.
Damn, that was deep.
I've struggled separating the two because I feel like both of those things are like the engine's running for both of those things simultaneously, separately in my body very, very often. If I'm really, really frustrated with something, I can feel the tornado kind of spinning in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just try to bury it a little bit and think and act very logically, but there's such a fine veil on that if it gets tapped at too many times, and that could just shatter, and all of a sudden the tornado just seeps through, and that makes it difficult to control the logical side of me. It's something that I've gotten a lot better at in the last couple of years, but it's very strange feeling both of those things just turning at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not that hard for me. Only because I was groomed by an old black man from the South.
Okay.
And
that's an interesting way to start a story.
Not sexually groomed.
Please specify.
No. I mean, groomed how to stay calm in the face of adversity, because there was a game that my grandfather had to play in the 50s and the 40s, and it was called Trigger the Nigger.
Yeah.
And it was just let's see if we can make this black person lose their cool, so that now they can throw you in jail forever or take your family from you or kill you or whatever the case may be. So you had to stay calm no matter what. And so, it's my mindset now is when you do encounter fear to the point where your whole body shuts down and fight or flight or whatever, then your conditioning and your programming take over, and then you no longer can operate and think. You're just a reaction. And not only is that not a healthy way to be or live, but now people can control you with that emotion now too. So now anybody who wants to we can go get Zane riled up because we know how to push his buttons, and they can manipulate your life now, your day or your mood or your character or your temperament based off of exposed nerves. So I try to shield mine and keep it cool. So, obviously sometimes you got to pop the fuck off.
But it sounds like safety, safety is at play there. If you don't, it's not safe for you to always act, or certain people to have more space and privilege to act on their emotions than other people do.
Yeah.
And even on a less extreme tier, it's just, this sounds like there's a level of self-preservation in that, where you're just I want to be able to make my own decisions and not decisions that have been influenced by people being shitty.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a really good way to put that, Taylor and Jamal. The control you give other people by letting them dictate your emotions. I've let that happen so many times where it's I've been in a good mood, been hanging out, and then I just hear one thing and I'm just I'm having a bad day now. And it's or I run into a situation that is always kind of confrontational, and I'm just I'm going to react to this the way I always do, and that's to shrink. And it's logically, I know that this is a place I want to be. These are things I want to do. These are things that I'm passionate about. These are people I want to take care of. But because I'm letting my emotions dictate how I'm feeling, the logic part of my brain just goes out the window, and I'm just oh, well, I mean, maybe they don't need you here. Maybe, right. it's letting the emotion take over the logic part. And what would you say would be like your experience with like running into people where maybe you're more emotional or they're more logical? Like,
I mean, I feel like all of us as human beings are very moody. And you can literally ruin your whole day when you stub your toe in the morning, or you can eat a bad sandwich in the afternoon and have a shitty night. We really we're all babies. We're little children and we're spoiled brats. And as soon as one thing doesn't go our way, we cry about it. So with that understanding, I can have more space and grace for another person having a bad day or have space, and I can be there for them instead of blaming them for being mean to me or whatever. So people are just like, you know what? I feel sorry for this person because you're not being mean to me because you want to give me bad service and you're my waiter. You hate your life.
And you can't regulate yourself to the point to be nice to your customer like that. You're having a bad day.
And you're subconsciously expressing your, maybe even epigenetically expressing trauma from a lifetime of servitude from multiple generations. And it's just today is the day that I just happen to be the person, and why not me? Because I can take it better than somebody who can't regulate.
Well, I mean, I think that like a bad day is letting emotion take over logic.
Exactly.
Because logically you could say this is a good day. A lot of good things happened. A lot of cool things happened. But that stubbed your toe in the fucking morning.
But it's the same thing with positive emotions too. You're still letting emotions take over. You can have a great phone call and get a promotion, and you're like, I had a great day today. Did you have a great day because of the action
the
and
whole
the
day
feeling?
Was great, or did you just have a good feeling that you took into the rest of your day?
It's the same momentum emotionally, because you have an emotion, you do that for a long time, that turns into a character, then that turns into a temperament. I might be doing it backwards, but eventually, that's who you are.
It becomes your personality.
Exactly, it becomes that personality. It becomes your identity because you do it so long. So then you go, oh yeah, Zane's a very chipper person. Oh, fucking Zoe's always angry.
People always say that about me. Chill out, Zoe.
Angry Zoe.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say there's a concept like in dialectical behavioral therapy called the wise mind. And it's basically like a Venn diagram between your logical mind and your emotional mind. And like where they intersect is the wise mind, which is being aware, like I said, like being aware of your emotions, having space for your emotions, feeling your emotions. Because if you don't, then they come back to haunt you, but then also accessing your logic in the same space as like feeling your feelings. So there's an even exchange between logic and emotions. And then that's like supposedly the most effective mind state that we can achieve.
Right. Yeah.
That sounds hard to me.
It does sound very hard. I will validate that.
Only because like no matter what feeling I'm feeling, and whether it's a positive or a negative emotion, I get very self-righteous when I start feeling them. So if I'm angry, I'm like, that's right. I deserve to be angry because of these things. And I'm feeling stuff and it's their fault. And now I'm blaming other people for the emotions that I'm literally telling myself to create. And I'm creating all these chemicals in my body. And my body's like, hell yeah, more of this shit. And now my nervous system is like, my nervous system is like, I recognize this. This reminds me of that other thing that got me super riled up like this. And now I'm being, more expressive than I need to in a situation that is uncalled for. But like, I feel like as a human being, we get addicted to those feelings and those emotions,
those chemicals,
and so that like, if once you understand that, then you can kind of go, oh, okay, not a big deal. I get that I'm feeling this feeling. I wonder why I'm feeling this feeling. Why am I so angry at this situation? Is it because this person is disrespecting me, or is it because I didn't set a boundary and I didn't healthily tell this person exactly how I felt beforehand, and now they're doing something that I feel more across the boundary and I didn't say anything about it, and I'm really more upset with myself than them, and I probably should have said something, but hey, I'll chalk this up to the game, and I'll say, hey, next time, blase, blah, 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 and then if they do that, then I can punch them in the stomach.
You have to work through tears,
defensive gate.
Well, that's a really interesting like flip side to like the like refusal to I don't know if refusal is like the right word, but like the almost kind of like suppressing your emotions to only operate logically, because that like you're still kind of like embracing the emotions and like acknowledging them, but you're able to like navigate them through logic and like, okay, well, like there is a time and a place for me to appropriately feel these emotions.
Yeah.
But like, how can we get to the point where I don't necessarily need to? How do I set boundaries so that I don't necessarily need to get to that point? That's a hard balance to strike.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good point though, because like your feelings do need attention and they do need to be felt, but like how do you feel them at the right time and space? So I think that's a good point.
Well, and that's why I really like appreciate what you were saying about the wise mind, you know, because it's like those emotions do need to be felt, like they do need to be, you need to validate the part of you that is feeling that.
Yeah, because if you don't, it comes back.
Yes.
Exactly. It just sits in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
But like there's also the logical part of you that's like, I need to still do things.
Yeah.
You know, like I still need to I need to acknowledge that this is real to me, but I also need to acknowledge that like my life needs to go on.
Right.
Yeah. It makes me think about like when you get upset, like you were saying, and you feel, because I'm the same way. Like when I get upset, I feel very like if someone does something that I feel like is unjust, I feel very respond, like I don't know what the right word is, but like I'm pissed and I have the right to be pissed.
Justified.
Yeah. But then almost always when I act from that place, even though in the moment I'm like, fuck I have every right to feel this way, and then I say some shit and then I feel bad later.
Oh yeah.
So that's how you know that I let my feelings get the better of me, because later when my feelings chill out and my logic comes into play, I'm like, did I really need to fucking say that? Even if I even I had the right to feel it, does it feel good that I said it to that person now?
Exactly.
Did it solve the problem?
The one thing I think
more conflict?
I feel like I've learned is if I feel like I'm justified, I'm probably in the wrong. If I'm like, fuck this person, it's just like, nope, you're probably
100%, or at least you know that you're blaming somebody for something.
Yeah.
I recently came into a mindset that I'm taking drastic accountability for my emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm trying to be like, hey, you didn't make me feel this way. I'm making myself feel this way for my own thoughts and my own triggering and my own nervous system because I feel unsafe or I didn't set a boundary or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But I'm trying to take more accountability for my emotions, which also means that I'm not taking responsibility for other people's emotions. So you can't say you made me feel this way. I was like, that's impossible because you created those thoughts and feelings in your body and your triggering your emotions. Now I can be sensitive to your triggers in your situation and your filters and try my best not to trigger you.
Absolutely.
But it's not my responsibility for your triggers.
Yeah.
That conversation's so difficult to have with people that haven't like done the legwork of like getting to that too. Because they're like, what do you mean it's my fault? Like, no, you clearly made me. And I'm like, no, let me like backtrack a little bit and explain why my emotions are my problem and your emotions are your problem. It almost becomes like an uncomfortable like teaching situation.
Yeah.
But
But I think asking for what you need, though, I think that's like you said, because that's a thing that people do a lot. And I think a lot of people don't understand that they're upset and they don't understand it's because they didn't ask for what they needed.
Right.
So I think like when you feel that way, like taking a step back and being like, what do I need? I feel unsafe. What do I need to feel safe? And then coming to the person and say, hey, would make me feel safe if when this happened, you did this instead of that. Yeah. Right. And then that's a way that you can own yourself, own your feelings.
Yes. I feel that that is there's a book. That's a book. That is
that I'm about to write and take all the credit for.
No, I know
I feel like we talked about it.
Yeah, this is okay.
Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. Am I helping?
No.
The Ethical Slut.
No. It's keep naming books though. I'm definitely helping.
Moby Dick.
The Magic Tree House.
The Giving Tree. I'm naming books.
The Magic School Bus.
No. It's a book about being able to express your needs, because what happens is most human beings express themselves and how they feel. Right. Again, you're letting your emotions get over the logic. And we're like, you made me feel this way, or I feel this way. And this situation makes me feel okay, cool. What's the solution to make you not feel this way?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we need to set and focus on. What is your need?
Yeah.
Human beings, we're all babies.
Yeah.
You're crying right now.
Yep.
What do you want, baby? What do you want, baby?
Well, it's something that like I feel like somebody had said to me like a really long time ago is just that like it's just the idea that like crying out for help is like the first way that we ever figure out how to communicate something.
Right.
You know, like everyone's just like, oh, they're crying out for help. It's just like, yeah, that's the first way we know how to communicate that something's wrong when we don't have the words for what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's like we have to acknowledge like that part of it that like, they're just trying to communicate that something's
We're
wrong.
social creatures.
Yeah.
Every single being on this planet is born instinctively with the thing it needs to survive. Some animals are born with claws and teeth. Some animals are born able to fly. Some people swim and run and stand. We're born ready to cry and ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's what the fuck we do. And so as we get older, we be like, I'm an independent person. And, then you hear shit like, no man is an island and it takes a village. And you're like, nope, I can do it because my ego and I'm young and I can do stuff. And then you fucking deteriorate inside because you're like, oh, my dreams are falling apart.
And I'm the only one trying to hold them up.
Because I'm the only one doing it instead of actually building a team to actually help you. A community. Which, look around. We're sitting on somebody's dream right now. This was an idea.
Yeah.
Everything in this room was an idea, and it took a bunch of people to make all these things come together. Now look at you guys. Have a team.
And Kevin.
Shout out to the squad.
Created lighting and the person who created sound tiles. No, it's a team. It's literally a collaborative effort. I think the more that we recognize that, like, we have to work together and we have to acknowledge that, like, some of us are more logical and sometimes that's super fucking helpful. And sometimes some of us are more emotional and that's also super fucking helpful. But, like, the best place we can land is probably in the middle. So.
At the end of the day, we are emotional creatures. Like I said, we're very moody. And the way we remember things is through emotion. We have to have a strong emotion for it to stay into our long-term memory. And that's just kind of how we live our lives.
That's why I can't remember anybody's name until I know them.
Until I cry with them.
You had a party in Vegas.
You're their friend or an enemy, otherwise I don't remember you.
Exactly. That's yes. Yeah. You need a strong emotion to remember things. Yeah.
What's an acquaintance?
I totally agree with that because I used to say I'm just like you remember the best things and the worst things and everything in between gets forgotten.
That's true.
Exactly. So then, you need those feely people to help us create the strong memories, but we need those logical people to get all the lighting and the cameras.
Everything has its place.
I want to say I think it's hilarious that, like, the fake independent, like, alpha bros or whatever, the pictures that they always post are of, like, pack creatures. They're like, I don't need anybody, and they post a picture of, like, a lion or a wolf, and I'm like, those are the most, like, community-based animals.
That's so funny, actually.
That's hilarious.
All right, well, we will be right back.
And we're back with the smoke break.
We made it.
I'm Zoe Schwartz. This is Taylor.
Taylor Thomas.
And I'm Zane Barrett.
I'm still Jamal Coleman.
I don't know. We practiced that so many times and I fucked it up. Anyway, we wanted to. Are we still? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask Jamal more about how, like, this skill of, like, balancing logic and emotion, how you feel like you've been applying that because you moved to Vegas recently and you got a residency on the Strip doing comedy and you've achieved a lot with a lot of turmoil and change. How do you feel like that skill has been serving you through this process?
Man, being able to stay focused and not emotional. Somebody, I think it was Deion Cole, said, he was like, being emotional fucks up the bag.
Yeah, that's true.
Popping off because you didn't get treated a certain way, or being angry and huffing and puffing because you didn't get 5 minutes on a guest spot, or whatever the case may be. People see that. Even if they don't see it, they feel it with their energy, and they don't want to be around that shit.
That's fair.
So I literally hung out for 2 months, and probably the last time you guys saw me on this show, I was unshaved and I kind of looked like Samuel Jackson on Black Snake Moan, and so I was there for like 2 months looking like that, and people treated me like I look like that, and I didn't take it personally. But then when I shaved and I started dressing better and I got, like, placements, and then people were like, well, hey, Jamal, I'm your best friend now. I was like, you wouldn't even let me sleep on your couch. You so crazy. So it's been interesting, to not get too up or down, because I still have goals to achieve. And as long as sometimes you'd be like, yay, let's party. I've reached a plateau. And then you end up being the person who's stuck at that plateau partying for 10 years.
Well, I mean, it sounds like people kind of decide, like, oh, I've hit that plateau. Now you just get to fucking chill. It's just like, nah, man, this doesn't become less work just because you hit a certain point.
Exactly.
Like, it becomes more work.
And I'm a dopamine fiend, so I like to keep setting goals and keep achieving them. Yeah. That's what kind of makes me strive. And as long as I can stay focused on validating myself, regulating myself, then I don't need outside validation or regulation. And then I party with people. I enjoy celebrating the good times and everything. I can sit down and enjoy being present in a moment, but my goal isn't to just focus on the feeling, because I have a plan and I want to stay logical and execute my plan and take the steps that I need to get there. And I feel like it's kind of like rap. Rap is like, either have like a very technical rapper, like a Tech 9 super speed rapper, or you got like a dude who's just all vibe and feels like Lil Uzi Vert or the ODB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so you got to find that in your life. It's like right now I'm playing that game when you're a kid. You play that game. It's like what's warm and what's cold, and people are like warmer, hotter. I'm doing that with people in situations now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, this feels good. I'm gonna stick around with this. This doesn't feel right for me. I'm gonna get away from this.
Yeah.
This spot, I feel really good about doing a show here, and I like hanging out here. I do not like hanging out here. I don't feel warm or welcome.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from this, and I'm living my life like that now.
I think like, just acknowledging like what places make you feel warm and what places make you feel a little bit cooler,
Right.
like I think it's important to acknowledge that, because like energy is like a finite thing. You know? You don't have infinite fucking energy, and you can only give so much in a day. So it's like, if you know something's going to take something extra out of you, why not do 3 fucking dope things instead of one thing that's really going to fucking destroy you?
Yeah. There's any like specific practices that you want to share with us? Like how you've been trying to regulate your emotions?
Well, hell yeah.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Yes. Well, get some fucking sleep.
That helps. That's fair.
Get some sleep. It's all chemical based in your body, and it's all your nervous system. So facing your demons, meditating, that's all huge. If you're into taking psychedelics, I would highly suggest doing some microdosing, some mushrooms, or macrodosing if you really need to calm your ass down.
Heroic dose.
You want to be a champion? Go for it. There's some other smaller like non-psychoactive herbs you could take, like lion's mane and reiki mushrooms. Those are spectacular. I take ashwagandha every day. That helps me regulate my cortisol, my stress level, and my glands. So eating food that doesn't trigger you. If you're not supposed to be eating dairy, quit eating dairy. If you're not supposed to be eating gluten, don't eat gluten.
I like dairy. Yeah. It makes my stomach feel shitty, but
but just know it's gonna make you feel bad, and when you feel your body feels bad, you're in a bad mood, and you're gonna feel like you have the flu. You're gonna act like you have it. You're gonna be shitty to people. People are gonna be shitty to you. Yeah. You're gonna be like, how come everybody's got such a shitty attitude? And it's because you ate a fucking cheese sandwich.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I mean, even just like recognizing like people who deal with like chronic pain and stuff like that it's like that affects your mood. Being 100%. In pain, being uncomfortable, being, like there's certain things you could do. Like that's something I've been trying to do more of, is like making sure that I'm drinking enough water.
Big.
Because it's like, that's something that is like, they're like, drink 8 cups of water or some shit a day. And I'm just like, I drink 0, but I feel shitty. And I wonder if they're connected. And
water and nutrition is the baseline. Water, nutrition, rest is the baseline. And taking some supplemental herbs, that's the baseline.
Yeah.
After that is breathing techniques, meditation, doing some Wim Hof breathing. That's like the next step. If you can do the next step.
Yeah, it's like the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah. Doing cold plunges, cold showers, that actually helps regulate your nervous system. But if you just like need to like immediately change your mood, just go for a walk. Go for a jog.
Yeah.
Change your physiology. Do some sit-ups. Do some push-ups.
Well, like yesterday,
make your heart rate change.
I didn't really want to like hang out. I wanted to go to this art meetup. I wanted to go to it initially, but like as the day went on, I was just kind of like having a rough day, and I didn't want to do it. But I was like, all right, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to walk there, because like I could sit in the car, it'll take me like this long and I'll get over there. But like just the act of like walking, of like seeing things, of seeing people, interactions, like just, I don't know. I feel like when I get down on myself, I stay by myself. So I cut myself off from community, and then I don't move, and I stay in one spot. Right. So I like fuck up my physiology. Yep. So it's like you're taking the 2 things that would make you feel better and taking them completely out of the equation and being like, this is the best I could feel. And it's like,
is it though?
Is it?
That's like one of my biggest tools, I think, because I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to like sit still and meditate. I only can't get myself to meditate when I'm like really stressed out, because I know I need to. But my main go-to thing is like going for a walk, like even before I even started trying to actually, I still think it's meditative though, but I would walk and deep breathe, and I'll like intentionally like leave my phone at home. So I like have to be present and pay attention to everything. And I think being outside is like a really effective way to ground yourself if you don't necessarily feel like the other tools are.
It's another
accessible.
meditation. Just seeing and seeing, talking about what you see is another form of meditation. It's really about being present. It's being present.
Yeah.
As long as you can practice being present, then you're okay. What happens is most human beings can't stay present for more than 8 seconds, and you're more worried about the future or you're worried about the past, and then all of a sudden you build all these emotions based on some shit that happened before or some shit that you think might happen or could possibly happen. And you build up we build up this whole fantasy universe of something that could possibly happen and go wrong, and we create all this fear, and then your logical brain shuts down and the amygdala starts going, it's my time, guys. Feed the fear, baby. Shut down all thoughts. Shut it down. Shut down thinking. It's time for fear, baby. And then you're the 4 F's. You're fight, flight, fawn, or freeze.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately for a lot of women, they're getting into the freeze or the fawning mode. It's okay, baby, whatever you want. It's for you. I'm doing this for my safety, but it's for you. And the man is like, yeah, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
Or fuck this shit. I'm leaving. I'll be back when I get back. It's kind of how human beings react instead of going, hey, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
My nervous system is very heightened right now. Let me sit my ass down and breathe. Let me splash some cold water on my face.
Yeah.
Let me regulate my vagus nerve by just twisting my finger in my ear or doing some qigong or let's try to get this energy out through some working out.
Yeah.
So then I can sit down and have a conversation with this person about emotions.
The concept of like being physically present and mentally present so that your logical brain can like participate in your existence is super important. And that like looks different for everybody. Like the walks have just always felt super weird to me. But when I was doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, it was it was so nice to just like, there was nothing clouding me. I was just so physically and mentally present at the same time. I was just
you were in the moment.
I was learning stuff and I was like kind of working out at the same time. It was all the pieces moving together. It felt like how a clock has like a million tiny little pieces that all have to like coordinate and work together, and like that's how my brain and body felt when I was doing that. And it was really cool. But I like what you were saying about like the vagus nerve.
Right. Yeah. The vagus nerve, for people who don't know, look it up, man. It's a nerve that runs through your whole body. It touches all your organs. There's various places on your body that you can stimulate it. Like when you take a deep breath, deep breathing helps stimulate the vagus nerve. And when you stimulate it, it creates it creates like a restful and peaceful feeling in your body, which stimulates the social and safe triggering of the nervous system. So instead of being fight or flight, now you're ready to chill and fucking laugh with your boys.
Hang out with everybody,
eat some barbecue by the fire, like 10,000 years ago. So so being able to knowing where this vagus nerve is and how to stimulate it is super important. Get
on YouTube. There's videos on YouTube you could look up of how to stimulate your vagus nerve.
It's a million things that you could do to stimulate it.
And you're already on YouTube because you're watching the smoke break.
Exactly.
Or on Spotify.
And it's something as simple as just putting your finger in your ear and like squeeze in here and then like do it in circles, do it in both ears, do in circles. EFT tapping is another thing that I use for regulating my emotions quickly. And not only can you get the trauma out of your body, because when you get angry, you get all tense and all this stuff. Not can you get only the trauma out of your body through the EFT tapping, but the EFT tapping has a lot of self-guided meditations that help you validate your emotions with communication.
Right.
So it helps you guide your emotions. You start off saying what it is. So it's like, I'm so angry that they did this to me. I'm so angry that they did this to me. I can't believe this. I'm so uptight. You know what? I am open-minded to getting over this. This doesn't have to ruin my day. I can have a great day. Actually, I'm having a great day. And next thing you know, you're like, I feel great. And that thing didn't bother me. And you can deregulate, by yourself. Or if you have a partner, fucking get hugs. You need like 8 hugs a day to have great mental health.
As much water as I'm supposed to be drinking. Are you fucking kidding?
Yes.
Zane and I don't hug.
Human beings need hugs.
That's why I have to ask for other hug outlets.
We tried twice and it was so weird.
It was very weird.
It was on accident both times. We were like, we're okay.
I go out of my way to make sure I hug everybody. Everybody's always want to give me the high five. I'm like, get that hand out of there. Get in here. I want
squeezing,
nipple to nipple action. Squeeze. And I'll give you a fucking. People tell me I'm a great hugger because I like to I'll hug you.
Yeah, no, you gave me a hug earlier when you got here. I was like, I needed this.
You did.
like hugs. And I was like, I needed this.
I'm going to get you again, too. And look, I'm going to get you. I'm going to squeeze you in tight, and I'm going to rock you side to side, and I'm going to pat you.
so safe.
I'm going to rock side to side and
I'm not even
pat.
feeling
I'm going to fall asleep on your shoulder.
You got to get that side to side rock and pat. That's the best
You
hug
guys
ever.
should just take your shirts off and do a little skin to skin.
Yeah.
That creates.
Well, after our break, we will.
Get the baby oil out.
When we come back from the commercial, Jamal's going to be holding Zane like a baby.
And we're just like, he's sleeping.
Stroking his afro.
Sounds adorable. This sounds adorable.
Hey, look, human beings, we got to regulate. Sometimes that's the only way we got to, we can touch other people,
Well, I think it's being able to self-regulate first,
consent.
and then yes, of course, very important.
Consent.
Very important.
Yes.
But like, I think it's being able to self-regulate first, and then like, if that's not what's working, being able to ask for help and ask to reach out, and be like,
Co-regulate.
yes, and co-regulate. Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes you just need, you don't even have to be dating somebody. You just have a homegirl or homeboy or something, maybe even the same sex, but you just need like some body contact. Whether it's you guys, whether it's you guys fucking working out and doing jujitsu, or just snuggling and watching Netflix for a couple hours.
They're the same thing for Taylor and I.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same.
We do jujitsu and then snuggle and watch Netflix afterwards.
It's our Netflix and chill.
It's the same thing on the opposite side of the spectrum. You know what I mean? We just need human contact.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to stress your muscles out or relax your muscles. Go get a massage.
Ooh.
That's a great way to regulate your nervous. You had a rough week? Go get a massage. Go dancing.
Don't tell me to do that. I fucking
Zane, go dancing.
Go dancing.
God, no.
It's
I'll sing for you
scientifically
first.
impossible to have a bad attitude while you shake your butt.
Fucking watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
I'll
feel
show
worse.
you.
I fucking promise. I hate dancing.
Yeah, there's like,
oh, go ahead.
there's a lot of like mutual respect in the jiu-jitsu community too, because like you want to like roll and like wrestle with somebody that like you have a mutual respect for, because it's a lot of like arm submissions,
A lot
and,
of
like,
balls to the face.
yeah. So you gotta really like this person to let that happen. No,
You gotta really respect somebody to let them put their taint in your mouth.
I felt the disrespect. But, like,
No, I didn't mean any disrespect.
no, I'm just fucking. But like,
you felt-
the
you mean
disrespect like when somebody
pressure of the taint felt
that felt like someone's
disrespectful.
taint was in my face.
Yeah, okay, I get
that
it.
was disrespectful take.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you
have to respect somebody to be able to
a lot of people that like roll together and like practice together are like good friends, or they become good friends through this practice. And
Well, yeah,
so
because they're
like
touching a lot.
so you kind of have to be. There's rules
lot
too.
of
Like you
contact.
have to have showered. You have to have clipped your toenails. You know what I mean?
nice.
That's been happening.
I wish they had those for sex with men.
For the longest. That's what all the warriors. All the
Spartans?
warriors, all the Spartans, all these
Should I
guys.
have wrestling rules for my bedroom?
Vikings. Yes.
Jamal, have you showered? Have you clipped your toenails?
Jiu-jitsu makes this a requirement.
Get
Just
your
copy
clip
and
in,
paste the
motherfucker.
jujitsu rule sheet and put it on your fucking door.
And yes, you must wear a unitard.
They're called a gi.
All right, we need to take a break, don't we?
I think I need a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the smoke break.
Welcome back.
Here. We are here still.
We're back.
We're
I'm
still
Zoe
working.
Schwartz.
I'm Zane Thomas.
I'm Jamal Coleman still.
I'm Taylor Barrett still.
And we're still panicking. All right, for this section, how do we make that goofy ass transition? Here we go. Guilt. There we go. I'll say the word and then I'll tell you a story. So I have a friend who was not a friend in a moment, and that's it hurts, and he wants to still be a friend, but he feels guilty about what happened. And I have a lot of compassion for that. The way he kind of explained it is like, I don't want to see you because I'm afraid that like I'll see the hate in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stop hating him.
I know. Well, just close your eyes then. But
Don't look me in them.
Yeah, don't look at me then. But it's like I guess I can empathize with that, because it's like he doesn't want to show up because he doesn't want to be seen that way, but at the same time, like, he can't show up as anything other than how I used to feel about him if he doesn't show up.
Like, you need him to come prove to you that he's willing to make a change that makes you feel safe being his friend again. But it sounds like you're open to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's holding himself back by
feeling guilty.
Yeah. Shame is a very restrictive emotion.
Yeah, like how so?
Well, I don't know. I just think like shame prevents me from trying things that I'm scared of being bad at. It makes me scared to try new things. It makes me feel like my past is going to dictate my future.
Definitely.
Makes me feel like I'm unlovable, all those things.
Yeah.
Very strong emotions.
Yeah.
That's why Brene Brown wrote a whole ass book on it.
You and Brene Brown. You can get a tattoo of Brene Brown.
Yeah.
I feel like she's done some problematic things.
That's why they have a whole character based off of him on Big Mouth.
Really?
Oh, really?
A Brene Brown character?
No, shame.
I was like, she made it to Big Mouth? No, yeah, the Shane Lizard. The Shane
Lizard. That's what the coach calls him. The Shane
I'm
Lizard.
technically the coach. So.
I'm coming from a little different background, so you gotta I'm old school where you don't break your ball, you don't break anything, but you don't break your balls or your word for anybody.
Yeah.
I
Never heard that.
you never heard this? So old school men, you'd be like, all you got is your balls and your word, and you don't break either for anybody. So you keep your word.
You don't work too hard.
That was the
no, breaking your balls is more like not letting nobody give you shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You don't let anybody give you shit.
I'm white.
Yep.
I don't get it.
This is what that old black guy was saying to you.
Like literally, they broke your balls.
It was somebody giving you shit. They're breaking your balls.
I'm just giving you shit.
You're breaking my balls right now.
How dare you?
I just set the rule.
It's the bit inside the bit. I'm doing it and pretending I don't get it.
She broke my balls. Oh, my balls are broken now.
I did it by accident.
But look,
That's true. All you have is your balls and your word. And
yes.
Yeah,
It looked like
how trustworthy
all I
you
have
are.
is your balls and my word as well.
Outside looking in, it sounds like your friend made a promise to you.
Yeah.
Failed in that promise in a drastic way where they feel like the friendship could end.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, I don't want our friendship to end. But the question is, what are they doing for redemption atonement?
Well,
Are they trying to actively fix whatever they fucked up so that they can be your friend? Because it's different. It's not that they did something and they said something and did something and you're like, oh, I can forgive what you said. They did something.
Yeah,
I need that equal and opportunity of balance of energy from doing something to fix that.
Well,
thing.
something that you had said earlier was just like it was an action that broke the trust, so it's going to be an action that rebuilds it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very fucking that makes so much sense because it's like it's not his word that like hurt me. You know, it was his actions. So it's like the action of showing up. Is,
well, and the action doesn't have to be like the exact opposite of like if he did this thing, he doesn't have to do the exact opposite, but like continuing to show up despite the action that hurt you would like counterbalance a little bit the action that did hurt you. It doesn't have to be the exact same redemption, but there has to be like
effort in the opposite direction.
Right. Yeah. Just something that shows that like I know I fucked up, but I still want to be your friend instead of like I fucked up, so I'm not your friend, so fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It seems more dismissive if you're just like, well, I mean, I fucked up, but I feel bad, so I guess I'll just never see you. It's like,
well, I was thinking, it feels like to me, shame is like, in that way, shame is like, it's like it's almost like protecting them from taking responsibility in some ways and that's why like a lot of negative emotions are it's like you're stuck in the shame, but really like you're not being able to see that maybe you don't need to feel that way if you could be a little more bold and a little more brave and like ask a person what they need of you or have more space to acknowledge the harm. I don't know. So yeah, I think in that way, like shame can be a safety emotion that prevents us from growing.
And like walking outside of the shame is uncomfortable because you're not just like isolating yourself in the like shame. You're having to do things that like
regardless of still feeling that.
Yeah, exactly. And you're having to like participate in the redemption. You're having to like participate in the atonement, and like that is vulnerable. That's a very vulnerable experience. So like isolating yourself in the shame it's definitely, like you said, like a safety net kind of. I'm just gonna kind of sit here and like have the shame.
Yeah. It's almost like it preventing you from taking responsibility for what you did. Instead, it's like, well, I'm just a terrible person, so I give up. And it's like, well, that's not necessarily.
You're not a terrible person, so we don't want you to give up.
But you gotta make effort.
Yeah, well, and I think like the showing up part of it is like the most important part because it's like that's the hardest part to do. It's the hardest part to do, but it's the most important part to do.
Yeah,
like when you feel shame, when you feel guilt, showing up is the hardest.
It's immobilizing. It's an immobilizing emotion. Mm-hmm. That's what I was kind of.
But then I also feel like you might have a little bit of your own guilt and shame going on within yourself because you see you see what they're going through, and you are like, I'm empathetic to this person's needs and feelings so much that I care about how they feel instead of about how you feel about how they treated you, and having a healthy boundary set.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe you need to tell them what would help you feel
safe,
better and safer.
This is a perfect time to set a boundary.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that was like me talking to him. Is he's just like, hey,
are we giving you therapy right now?
Might be. Well, that's what he was kind of saying. Is he was just like, like I want to be like a part of your life, and I was just like, okay, like in order. What did he say? He goes, well, you can just like if you want to, you can call me every day. I miss you, and I was like, that's me calling you.
You need him to show up for you.
To show up for me.
Totally.
I was like, I can't allow you back in my life under this like this hurtful these hurtful conditions, you know, like I love you to death, but I can't allow you to keep hurting me.
Right. Well,
and then using it as a cop out kind of to be like, well, I feel bad, so I'm not going to try.
Right. Yeah. Well, he put the responsibility on you too.
Totally.
So then when you say you don't do it, then you be like, well, Zane doesn't want to be my friend.
Exactly.
And now Zane feels bad because you feel bad when really Zane just wants you to show him how you feel bad.
Exactly.
No, I'm kidding, not really.
Make up for it.
Like empathy can also be kind of like you being empathetic towards somebody that did mess up. It makes it really difficult to set boundaries because you're like, well, I get why that happened.
Yeah.
And I get why you would end up having that thought process. I totally understand that. So maybe the boundary that I have needs to flex a little bit, but that can make, like I said, setting boundaries and upholding them very difficult.
And it's like the whole thing. Go ahead. You said ooh. So
I just got excited because I feel like it ties back into like emotion and logic.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
your empathy is the emotion that's preventing you from setting a boundary and maybe allowing the friendship.
I was going to try to bring it up then, but I was like, we got this.
You're not being able to see it clearly because you're feeling it too much.
Yeah. No, I think that's really. I don't know. Like I have like so much compassion for people because I've been somebody who's messed up.
I can relate too.
I think that like that's important is that like seeing why somebody can do something.
Redemption.
But at the same time, like you have to hold people to a certain point of accountability of like you have to be an active part in you gaining redemption. Like you don't just get to like show up or not show up. You don't get to show up and not do anything or not show up at all. And I just decide that you were better now.
Yeah.
Well, and if you don't want this mistake to be like the defining trait of how I see you, then you have to redefine how I see you.
Yes. And show me I can trust you again.
Yeah.
Because you are your actions. Your consistent actions is your personality.
Yep.
And the last thing, I think Andre 3000 said it, you're only as funky as your last cut. Or it has to be a has
fucking
what.
Love Andre.
You're only as funny as your last set. Yeah.
So what I saw last is unfortunately that's how human beings are. Like, I take a snapshot. I emotionally felt something. It's in my long-term memory. I create a virtual character of you, and that is who I see for the rest of your life until you change that character.
Yeah.
And especially if it was drastic and hurtful.
Yeah.
You're more attached to that character when it's protecting you from somebody too.
Yeah.
Right?
And now when this is the question I wanted to ask is like now when have you hung out with this person since then?
I have not. It was a conversation
how do
we had
you even
recently.
feel thinking about hanging out with that person? Does it make your heart beat fast? Does it make
it hurts because it's like it's somebody who got me through a really tough part of my life.
But like, how does your body feel though?
My body feels I don't know. It's open to the possibility that like it's not rejecting it. Like I feel yeah. Like it's like a lot of times when I feel like anxious about people or situations, my body rejects it.
Right.
This one says that like it's safe, but like don't invest so much that like you can be hurt by hoping too much.
You're open but protective still.
But you need him to show enough effort for you to feel safe opening up more.
To feel safe opening up more, like that's something that has to get rebuilt.
Right.
But that would be a good boundary to say, hey, I do want you to be in my life again, but I think the amount of effort that you show me is partly what's going to allow me to want to trust you again and feel safe trusting you again. So I appreciate your words, but
yes,
how can you show me that you want to be my friend again?
That other person needs to evaluate if it's going to be worth the effort.
Yeah, because if you're going to bring it up, it's like when you get back together with somebody that cheated on you and then you fucking torture them. It's like if you take somebody back after like a rift in a relationship, it's your responsibility on some level also to let it go.
And I think also
to a certain point.
But and also to understand as the person who like may have done the cheating, understand like why there is distrust there, and that's something that you have to build back.
It's a balance of both.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like this side of it has to understand that like they're giving that person space to do better, and the other person has to understand.
But like in a relationship, like in a husband-wife relationship, and let's say the husband goes and cheats on his wife or whatever, and the wife forgives him and is like, "I'm going to keep you around."
Yeah. Can't just hold it over my
then the wife is definitely gonna hold over. Every time you do anything, you don't do something. Oh, just like that time you fucking fucked your secretary.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna every time. But at the same time, the husband gonna spend the whole lifetime atoning. You want me to rub your feet, baby? You want me to cook for you? I'll take out the trash right now. You want me to? So like in both cases, you have to have pity for, or whatever emotion you want to call it, but compassion for both of those characters. Obviously, that woman is hurt, and she's going to have to express it some kind of way, and it's going to take time for her to get over that. But at the same time, this dude can't be fucking walking on ice and eggshells and shucking and jiving and doing everything for the rest of his life.
Well, and she needs to set boundaries about what she needs to see in order to learn. And then if he can meet that, then she's responsible for managing her emotions in this metaphor beyond that.
So. Or even then he needs to talk like, okay, is it going to be worth it? Because this is going to be a tall hill to climb. Maybe we should separate and
not torture each other.
And not torture, because it's going to take me 10 years to gain your trust.
So are you going to start dating your friend again?
Yes. To answer everybody's question, yes.
You two are gonna hug. It's gonna be weird.
This is all about Taylor the whole time.
No, but
he didn't say anything.
But it might be a good test. It might be a good test to go somewhere mutual and not, just to see how your body feels around that person. Feelings. They're not super accurate to build a reality out of, they are good to give us a warning about people and situations.
It's worth listening to your body.
Throw your Apple Watch on and put one of your heart rate things on, and if your heart rate is beating too fast, you're like, I'm stressed out just sitting here with this person. Probably not a person you want to hang out with for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. All right. Well, excellent. That has been the Smoke Break. Jamal, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast. Yeah, we had a whole lot of fun with you. It's good to see you back. I'm glad that you moved to Vegas, that you're doing fucking great.
It's been awesome. And if you guys are ever in Vegas, come on down to the Strat, the LA Comedy Club. I'm hosting every Monday, 8 p.m. and every Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 p.m. featuring for Brett Ernst. Come down. We'll have some drinks and high fives.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Much appreciated.
Thanks for being here.
That has been the Smoke Break. We will see you next time.
Peace out.
Bye.
Later, players.